folks. Welcome to Racer Radio on FM 96.1, AM 1170.
The Answer.
All right, Gabby, what are you doing over there? Brittany's in the house, hobbling away. She's got no more. She 86'd her go-kart. Now she's on crutches.
Yes, sir.
Wasn't that go-kart more fun?
It was, but I needed to hand it over to someone in need.
Oh,
My dear mother, I love you, Mom, but she needs it more than I do.
What happened to her?
She's got a plate and some screws in her foot.
What's
We're a
with
mess.
you people?
We're a mess.
You are a mess. Hey, who you got on the line?
Oh, my goodness. So, Dave, I think I told you last week that a wonderful track by the name of Santa Maria Raceway.
Which I've heard tons about.
Oh, my gosh. So much good stuff. I tried to get up there in 2016. It got raced out, but the Barona boys love it. It's hooked up. It's banked. They have camping. It's right off the freeway. They love it. And about a week or so ago on Facebook, I saw that some people have moved in and it was loud, and so they wanted to shut it down. And so they were saying, please help us support, let the county know how important we are and all the benefits of a raceway. So I contacted David Castaneda, the GM of Santa Maria Raceway, and I said, oh, you got to call in and we got to talk about this.
Sure.
But he said, wait. We're meeting the county on Wednesday. This was last Wednesday.
So we got a breaking news.
We want to hear the rest of the story. So please welcome David, GM of Santa Maria Raceway, calling in from Santa Maria.
Hey, David, how's it going, man?
Oh, great to be with you folks.
Hope you got good news.
Oh, yes.
Well, we do have good news. Boy, I tell you, the power of social media, we put it out there. Just a little background, we've been here since 1964. Racing every season continuously since 1964.
Wow.
This place opened a month after I was born, so and I was born just down the road here. So
part of your life.
Yeah, it's a very special place for a lot of people, and we really found that out quite a bit over last weekend. We put out the call. We have a neighborhood that moved in, behind us. And some people moved in a few years ago. And at first they complained about the races. Anytime the races went past 10 o'clock, they'd give us a call. And we'd explain to them that, we've been here since 64 and our use permit, allows us to have races and allows us to go late. And so eventually they kind of shifted to complaining about some non-racing events, some concerts, some rodeos, different things that we were doing. And so they said, okay, well, we like the racing, but we want everything else to shut down. And we want to put some restrictions on how late racing goes. But, anybody knows anything about sprint cars knows that, one upside down car, a couple of red flags, and it can go late.
Right.
So we really did not want to have any restrictions at all on anything, but particularly the racing because, we have to have some flexibility. We actually like to get it done at about 9:30. That's our goal because, we found that families who bring their kids, they come for qualifying at 5 o'clock. By 9:30, the kids have pretty much had it. And so we try to get our program in, a high-quality program, great racing, and, that last checkered flag and victory circle going on at 9:30, and everybody seems to be really happy with that. But, sometimes it does go long.
Well, yeah, I mean, we have dirt tracks down here, and you're right. It is what it is, and nothing makes me crazier than have somebody move into your neighborhood and then complain. I mean, don't you go check out your neighborhood before you move into someplace? Good Lord.
Yeah, and it's not like the entrance to the development actually is like a shelf road that kind of overlooks our track. So you can kind of, you really can't miss it. But the good news is we put out the call for people to support the track. And we got calls from all over. Because of the coronavirus, you can't actually go to the San Luis Obispo County Supervisors meeting. It's all done virtually. And they gave the option where, hey, we'll give out a number and you can call in and leave like a minute or 2-minute message. And by Friday night, before our Tuesday hearing, we had basically crashed the system. It had gotten so many calls. And it filled up. And so they said, okay, well, now we'll take emails. And so they had a bunch of emails. When the hearing happened on Tuesday, it took 4 hours to go through all of the comments, all the calls. They played them all. They played them one after the other, and it was, it was about 150 in support and about 9 against.
Wow.
And but we got calls from literally all over the Western United States.
Oh,
People
yeah.
calling from Washington and in Las Vegas and places to say, hey, we come out there a few times a year, and we stay in Pismo Beach, because we're right on the Central Coast. We're surrounded by some great areas. We've got Solvang to the south. We've got Pismo Beach and the Central Coast beaches, Avila. San Luis Obispo is not too far away, wine country. So when we have a big event, we bring a lot of people from out of town. So they called in. We had people calling in that had talked about, being there as a kid, and now they're bringing their grandchildren.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
And it was overwhelming, and we got a 4-0 vote in our favor.
They listened.
We have some restrictions on the concerts, but nothing that was that we can't live with. We can do them Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, and they have to be done by 10 o'clock. And we've got some other things, but nothing major. And the good news is our grandfathered in standards for racing hold. So there are absolutely no restrictions. If I want to hold a 24-hour race, I can do it. It's racing. So no restrictions on racing, and that really, bodes well for our future. The concerts, some people say, well, just stop the concerts and do racing. The problem is in today's environment, today's economy, a facility like ours really can't survive with just one type of event. We really have to diversify. When with our big sprint series that come here, like King of the West and USAC, and now World of Outlaws wants to come back to Santa Maria now. We've done some renovations, and they're like, yeah, we want to be back. We'd scheduled a race for March of this year, but it got canceled due to coronavirus. So we're working on getting them back for next year. That'll be great. The World of Outlaws has not been to Santa Maria for 22 years. They had a great history here. Steve Kinzer has 7 wins here at Santa Maria, and I know he's looking forward to getting Craig on the track to try to keep the family legacy going here.
Well, it's funny you should say that, because I've got your friend and mine, J.C. Agajanian, calling in at 3:30. So I'll make sure we talk about Santa Maria. And what's up with your neighborhood? I do a off-road show, and we finally got Pismo Beach to open up for day use.
Yeah, it's funny. There was a lot of parallels. You got a lot of grumpy people up there. Yeah, the same county, the same supervisors are having to deal with that too. And one of our major sponsors is Rugged Radios, and Rugged supplies radios for all kinds of off-road and all of our race receivers. They're one of our big sponsors, and they're headquartered in Rio Grande, California, just a stone's throw from the beach and the dunes. And, that's a major part of their business. It's a major part of business for a lot of Central Coast businesses. And the idea that they would, try to close the dunes because, some people they built a golf course on the mesa, and complaining that sand blows, but
and that's because that's because Shea Holmes cut down 60 eucalyptus trees that normally block the sand, and then when COVID hit and they shut the beach down, son of a gun, the sand kept blowing. So so we got it open.
Sand actually got worse.
I know. So we got it open to day use. And now we're working. I mean, it's a multi-million-dollar, shot in the arm for that area, and for these. Don't even get me started.
Settle down, Dave.
But hey, I am so glad you're up and running. When are you gonna? I mean, are you still racing, or are you done for the season and going to start up here soon? Because if so, we'll get people to go to your website and support your track.
Oh, Barona boys, we want to go up
right now. Yeah, I remember, and I remember that race. I was the one who had to call that because of rain, and that's one of those things. It's a damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yeah.
Because,
yeah.
You want to call. You don't want to call it to the last minute because you want to give it every chance to make it happen.
Right.
But actually, that race, I actually did call it a little early because I knew we had about 6 or 7 people coming from Verona.
Yep, that was my caravan.
Yeah, they had a caravan. You guys were like almost to L.A. or in.
We were just north of Ventura. Yeah, you gave us enough time to turn around, though.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
we all raced.
I felt so bad, but
No worries.
I was looking forward to having that group up there. I love the dwarf car series.
Oh yeah,
we get a lot of dwarf cars here. We're just kind of situated right in the middle, so we get a lot of the Southern California dwarf cars, and then the Bay Area dwarf cars come on down. And once in a while, when we have a dwarf car event, when the stars line up and we get them from both ends, boy, I tell you, that's
a show.
A great show.
All right, folks, we're going to take a quick break. This is Racer Radio on FM 96.1, AM 1170.
The Answer.
Welcome back. You are listening to Racer Radio right here on FM 96.1, AM 1170.
The Answer.
And we got Dirt Dude on the line. Hey, Dirt Dude, how's it going?
Hey, doing good. How about you guys?
Well, we're on the line with David Castaneda. He's the GM of Santa Maria Raceway. And we had him stay on. Not that Barona's ever going to run into this problem, but you might want, I don't know if you listened to the first segment, but it might be good for Barona to hear how Santa Maria got through a real close call to being shut down due to people not liking the sounds of racing.
Too noisy.
Yeah, I know what we're going to be in that same boat someday. Once the tribe starts growing and they start using their land that's by us, then the tribal council will be like, we're putting restrictions on us. Today it's an honor today to be on the phone with these guys because you're talking to two major promoters from tracks, and I'm just like the track announcer. So I just want to forego my 15 minutes. I'm going to give it to you guys so you can keep on going with what's going on with Santa Maria, and you're going to go to Paris next. So, hey, Barona supports all of our tracks in the area.
Yeah.
Kokopah, Barona, Paris, Ventura, Santa Maria. I've been growing up going to all these tracks. So, hey, I support all of them.
Well, you can stay online, and if you want to chime in anytime you like. We've also, I just found out we got JC Agajanian calling in as well at the bottom of the hour because he's going to talk about Turkey Night. So it's all fits within our realm. So, Dave, if you were talking to some of these other tracks out there, what's a good piece of advice that you could give them to ward off these potential closures?
Well, a lot of it, unfortunately, really just it comes down to politics. And so, the important thing about our fight here was that getting the word out and making sure everybody's informed and knowing exactly what the situation is. And in the case of when, like you said, when people move into an area next to a facility, we got a lot of comments about people who move next to an airports and then complain about airplanes. And that sort of thing is just not politically popular anymore, where someone just there's kind of a visceral reaction when someone moves in. We made the point to the county that, we didn't just plop this track next to a neighborhood.
Right.
We had been here for a long time. Mm-hmm. And I think that just even that common sense doesn't always work when you're dealing with government. But when you do get a lot of people who sincerely, and when we got a lot of messages, and listening to those messages before we got to speak actually was very interesting and really rewarding to listen to people call and talk about how the track had affected their lives. So I think if a track is in danger, it's just keep your fans involved and make sure that the local politicians understand the value in keeping facilities like this open. We're really unique. There's not like another track down the street that can pick up the slack if we go away. And so that was something that really helped. Another thing that I would say, and this was a big help also, but we had all of our local chambers of commerces write letters in support of us, because we bring in people that stay at their hotels and eat at their restaurants. Yeah. And they said, this in this environment with coronavirus and everything going on, they really question whether it was good to put the screws to us in any way. So I guess I would just say get the public behind you. And then it's the other side that really has the uphill fight.
I like that approach. I think that's great advice. And your approach to it on the post, it even said be polite and respectful and tell your story.
That's what I was going to say.
I really appreciate that.
Because if you just yell, holler, and scream at politicians,
hear enough of that.
They're not. That's going to be going on to a deaf ear. You need to give them good reasons as a politician who work for us. Thank you very much.
Do they?
Why they should listen to what their constituents are saying. And again, no different than Pismo Beach. A lot of money goes into Santa Maria community. Like you said, the hotels, the restaurants, the track, all the sponsors. I mean, it's in the thousands of dollars. And I mean, why throw that out just because somebody, can't? I mean, get double pane windows.
Yeah, that's what they're doing.
And it's definitely the thing with when you get the public on your side, that's something that is really hard to fight. And that's also something that the local politicians or even state politicians, they take attention to that. And I think that, after listening to 4 hours of comments, you pointed out that we did ask people to be polite and respectful because it wasn't about just calling in to complain.
Yeah.
I wanted people to really let them know what this track meant to them and why. And we did get lots of people calling in about them bringing their kids here. And we had a family that brings their kids here. He used to race here, and his kids race here on the go-kart track. He brings his kids. It's a family deal. They come out, and they've been doing it for years. And he's like, and then when my kids have kids, I'm going to get something for my grandkid.
Right.
Just thinking of the future. So he called and left about a 1.5-minute message, and there was a number of messages like that where people were just telling their story and saying, look, this is not only a positive aspect to the community, but it's something unique, not just for visitors and bringing people from out of town, but the people who live right here, who enjoy it, just go down the street and go, wow, this is great.
Yeah.
Because it is, if we close down, then what do you got? You've got Ventura, which is having its own issues with regulations.
Oh,
you
sure.
have Bakersfield, who's got a neighborhood, they've got restrictions, so as population gets bigger, there's no choice. There's going to be population that are going to move, close to your facility.
Right.
So you have to have some mitigation. And I will say this too. We have already, we are opening it up with the neighbors to talk about some mitigation efforts. We're already talking about planting, greenery and plants and things that will trees and bamboo to help dissipate the sound a little bit. Some other things to mitigate traffic. We've got a whole new traffic plan with the California Highway Patrol for helping us out at egress at the end of the night. These are things that are good ideas and things that came up from the neighborhood. And that's another thing I would say to a track. If the neighborhoods are complaining and if there's something that is a viable and a reasonable request, consider it. Communicate with them.
Sure.
And there were actually people in that neighborhood who said, if you mitigate this and this, I'll drop it.
Right.
And so we're like, okay, well, we can work on that.
How many of the neighbors
shut down?
How many of the neighbors ever came to a race? Did you ever get a number?
I had a couple neighbors that they had been there a long time ago, but it was more about them, they had kind of gotten together and formed their own little group there. And so I had a couple of neighbors who had called me and said, we really love the track, but we have to live in this neighborhood. So, don't count on us, coming out and supporting you.
Isn't that terrible?
They were like, yeah, but I could understand that, if you've got next door neighbors and they're all, militant about one thing, that's the last thing you want to do is go against them if you got to live in that neighborhood. So,
I wouldn't have a problem with it at all. Are you kidding? I'd be throwing eggs at them. But anyway, hey, were you impressed with the turnout? I mean, did you have any idea that many people, 4 hours of comments, did it kind of, because I know you guys, when you're working at the track, you're kind of in the track. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you get a little myopic when you're here and you get focused on things. But, we were pleasantly surprised, not just on the number of calls, but the type of calls and the comments that were made. It just happened to be that it was the type of thing that, we were watching all of the council members or the county supervisors, they each had their camera on. So we had this big screen with all of their pictures on it because we were doing this big the Zoom thing. And, we were one of them and with the county council and everybody else. And they were all there and they're listening to these comments and you can kind of see them reacting. And, they're smart enough not to do eye rolls or anything like that on camera. They know that.
Yeah.
So, but still, you can tell that. Okay, there was even one supervisor who was asking us a lot of questions, and we're like, wow, this doesn't look good. But in the end, he says, well, you know what? If you mitigate this and the history of the track, not just the history of the track, as a racetrack and as an entertainment facility, but the sheriff's department, the high patrol, they all wrote staff reports, building and planning. But the sheriff's department sent a staff report to them that said, you know what, in all these years this track has been here, we never have any problems out there. We have a good relationship. Management is always cooperative, and we don't anticipate having any problems, whether they do racings or concerts or color runs or whatever it is they do there. They do it safely. They have a head on their shoulders, and the city council or the county had to kind of listen to that also. And so
I'm so happy for these guys.
David,
lot of people against us. Yeah.
You need your own radio show.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, you can talk longer than me, and I do 6 hours.
You did great.
You
David,
are awesome. And
he's happy. He's happy.
And
We're happy for
you
him.
can reach out to Britney anytime you got a special event coming up, a special race.
Dwarf races,
whatever.
Please let us know.
It doesn't just have to be dwarf. Don't pay any attention to her.
Dwarf races.
But hey,
that's right. But we definitely want to have those Verona folks back up here.
Oh, we want to come.
We'll do it. All right. Well, I'm going to talk to Don Kazarian from Paris Auto Speedway, who's trying to get his track open, and then JC Agajanian. So I'm telling you, this is a dirt show if there ever was one. David, thank you very, very much. Keep up the good work.
So happy
and
for
I
you.
won't stop with Pismo Beach. You trust me. We're gonna work on that as well. So you have a good weekend.
Keep up the good fight.
Thanks, buddy, and you too. And don't ever give up. Take care, man.
All right, we'll
Bye,
see you,
David.
folks.
All right, folks. This is Racer Radio right here on FM 96.1, AM 1170.
The answer.